I want to bring forward a hero of mine. I'll tell you, when we talk about the imperative of business leadership mixed with science, intellect, Colleen Payne, Nabors, comes to mind. She represents the best of us, and she represents job creation through her companies. She represents leadership by wanting to save us and our health. And she represents just the fantastic work of saying, hey, as a Black-owned, veteran-owned company, I deserve government contracts just like these other folks. And being able to stand there strong and submit these RFPs and to get these contracts and to create jobs is what she has been able to do and continues to do. And I hope that anybody listening right now who has not met with her company, please seek her out after this is over. Certainly you'll want to after you hear her speak, but please, this is the type of business person we need to support to create jobs and also to create health in our community. So please give it up for Colleen Payne Nabors.
Wow. Well, Hill, that gave me great joy and peace in my heart to hear you say that, because it has been truly my pleasure to be in your space, and I thank you for that. And thank you all for inviting me here this evening. And I am here to discuss just a little bit about me. MCI is 25 years old. I own the largest diagnostic laboratory in the entire country. We're the only African-American laboratory. We're in all 50 states in the United States. We have some of the largest contracts in the country. As Hill stated, we have one of the largest contracts in the country. Is we take care of every life, not just from the standpoint of COVID, but we take care of every life at the Job Corps. We have 135 locations nationwide, and we're in all 50 states. And every day, so we were tasked early on with the government ensuring that we made sure that all of those kids either stay on campus or we give them a solution. So we have done that, and we have been at the forefront. But in addition to that, MCI has a lot of strategic partners in the laboratory space. And we were the first laboratory entrepreneur to be named to the task force with Dr. Briggs. And in addition to that, the reason that our fees are so much higher today is because I was the only entrepreneur on that call that said we could not support a nation on the fees that were being provided at that time. And so we yield from the great state of Texas at this moment. I am Oklahoma bound. I am from Oklahoma, but also in a season of COVID, I have learned that this pandemic was not meant for us to survive. And so I am in the great state of Texas. We have won just about most of the contracts there, not because of the color of our skin, but I save lives. And we do an incredibly good job of doing that. Texas has 119 counties. We won 86 of those counties with Texas Emergency Management. We have the City of Dallas contract that we do in-home testing for the City of Dallas. We have the emergency management contract for vaccines. We provide vaccines for the state of Texas as well, and all of the state of Texas. So when the pandemic quickly started, being one of the companies in the country that had the firepower, we were given access by Abbott Laboratories to have the technology that would allow us to process about 15,000 tests per day. At this moment, MCI can process over 2,000 regular tests, but on any given day for COVID, we have the capacity and the firepower to process 50,000 tests per day, every single day at our headquarters in Dallas, Richardson, Texas. We actually have 4 laboratories nationwide, and most of our contracts are government driven. So we have learned a couple of things in this season, and being on the front of COVID, and some of the things that we do and we have seen, we are able in this season to provide and have provided solutions for testing. We not only want to make sure that we survive, because as the great doctor was saying, you know what I have seen, I don't think that anyone in this country would see from an African-American perspective. And the reason that you never see labs on TV talking that much is because I'm the only African-American lab that can tell the truth. And so the truth is, we are being reverted back to 1960s. The government is telling us how to live. They're telling us where to live. They're telling us how to house our kids. They're paying for our food. They're now housing us and they're clothing us. We have not seen this since the early 1960s. And what we are seeing from the laboratory perspective has been most significant from my perspective. So, you know, we are now back in a solution. Where we are today is that we have no one uniform thing on how to survive. But what I will tell you is that we cannot afford for this country to shut down again, because the people that lose the most in this shutdown are the people of color, the people that look like me, the people that look like my mom, people that look like my sisters in my family, and the people that look like you on this screen. So we have spent the last almost year and a half, a lot of our own money, marching around the country. We are service disabled, veteran owned. We're HUB. We're North Texas. We're minority. We're every accreditation that you can potentially have in this country, and we win RFPs. But it is no easy feat, because Black people are not supposed to make the money. If you make more than $50,000 on a contract, you are given the right not to succeed. And so the moment that they realize that, you fight to be who you are. Historically, most of the time they want us to win the contracts that are $1,000 or $2,000. We don't win those contracts because our lab is a $20 million lab. So if I have a $20 million lab, then I deserve the $20 million or the $100 million contracts, just as most minorities. And the one thing that they do not tell us is the fact that if you're service disabled, veteran owned, the government said that you win all contracts, not just one. So that is a very, very hidden feat that no one has ever told us. So we started doing COVID testing about a year. We've done 17 states. We were on the ground in Georgia for almost 6 months. We've been to Baltimore. We've been to Washington. We've been in DC. We've been in North Carolina, South Carolina, just about most of the southern states. I am one lab trying to support this nation, because we are a people of color. And if you do not save the people of color, if you do not save the brown, the Black, and the yellow people, we don't save anybody. And that's where we are now. You know, it's not so much as what do we do at this point? So MCI, with the help of a lot of people here, Derek and Mr. Harper have been very good friends for MCI and getting the word out. Because one of the things that's happening now in this country is that we're back in school. We did what the president asked. He wanted all the kids to come back. We brought them all back. I have one of the largest contracts in the country. I take care of every Job Corps in the nation. All of those kids have to come back, and they have to come back with a vengeance. And so they're all back. But the one thing that we did not do collectively is we did not determine how we bring those kids back. We left every school district, every school district without a solution on how to return those children. We left every school district without a solution as to how to make sure that the teacher standing at the head of that class is protected. So in lieu of that, I determined that no one company can come back. We do testing every day here. We process thousands and thousands of tests. I do not collect corner tests from anyone, because I cannot justify the validity of those tests. We collect our own tests. And so now where we are is we have municipalities. I am in Dallas. I am in Richardson. I am in the state of Texas, and we can't service everyone. The city of Dallas called me the other day, and they didn't have 2 PCRs in the whole county, and every day someone is being infected. And so how do we help? So we're here to tell you a solution on how do we help, because we have no solution. None of the big companies that were out there doing the massive testing sites, they can't come back. It's not enough money. And if you all didn't understand that COVID is a business, understand that it is a business. But it just wasn't any minorities at that table for the business. So therefore, we just didn't get that understood. It is a business of saving life. And so where MCI has decided to put our efforts, we do the Salvation Army, we do the homeless, we do the people of color, because if we don't save any of them, if we don't save we want to come back and we want to recover, and we want to bring this country back, and we want to keep the workforce at work. We want to keep people at work. We want to keep the students in school. Based on those things, how do we do that? So I'm not for sure, Ms. Holton, if you have our PowerPoint that you were able to display, and if not, I can continue. So one of the things that we have determined is that we cannot touch the entire nation, and we cannot go out and do foot surgery as we have done with our organization. But one of the things we 100% can do is we've determined how can we help the municipalities. You know, if you got city officials calling me saying we have people that are positive and we can't find PCR testing. We have schools that are positive that if anyone on this, if the schools have not started, they will close as fast as they're starting. There's guidelines. If 100 students are positive, that means that by the end of 2 days, there will be 1,000 students positive in that school. And then 1,000 kids turns into the entire school district being positive. Thank you. So one of the things that we are now doing is we're trying to come back and we're trying to have a proactive, a proactive approach to a reactive situation. And how do we do that? We 100% need solutions. And I have determined that we can help every single municipality. We can help every municipality. We have a solution for your schools. We have a solution for the small businesses, because each and every one of us have, each and every one of your counties have small businesses that they can't afford to have testing. About 6 months ago, Macy's had a huge outbreak. It was almost mutiny, because what they said is that you want us to come back to work. You want us to be essential, but yet you're not taking care of our life. And so what does that mean? There's no company would want us to come in. I don't want to go to a company anymore, because the moment that I show up, then the media shows, and then we have to potentially shut that company down. So how do we get you tested? How do we get the municipalities tested without this being mutiny? So one of the things that we have done, working with the Job Corps, working with the department, and so not only do we have the Job Corps, we have a lot of weekend warrior companies, we have a lot of military, we have a lot of the VA facilities. And with that, we have had to determine mechanisms to get them tested in the field, to get them tested where they were. So working with the Job Corps over the last year, we've determined that we put together a kit. And in this kit, what we have is the ability to send out to any municipality, any school system. And most of the school systems would have Binex testing at this moment. But I would tell you this, 2 weeks ago, I had the worst call of probably this pandemic. I've had a lot of worst calls in this pandemic. Okay. So you guys, you see this box right here? Okay, this is one of the things that we're trying to show you. What we've put together is an actual kit that you can send out to any municipality. You can send out to a small businesses, because see, 60% of our small businesses, mostly historically minority, most of our businesses have been shut down. We've lost our businesses. 60% of the minority businesses during this last year with COVID have gone under. So we no longer have any, those businesses couldn't afford to stick around. So now, how do you support your constituents in your area? You know what? Because every day that they come to work, they're going to have an outbreak. And if you look in any area that you're in, where you used to see all those pop-ups at, all the pop-ups, how many of you guys, just show of hands, how many of you see a pop-up like every 5 miles now, every mile? You don't, oh, you still see them. Great. You're going to be the two of you guys are the only ones that are going to be seeing pop-ups, because unless you are doing a lot of business, we don't have the pop-ups left. They're already laying off people. So what we determined with the Department of Defense and with Job Corps is we send you out this kit. This kit goes all over the nation. It has actual instructions in it. It goes to the school municipalities. You have a PCR test. It goes to your small businesses. Inside of this, if you look at this QRS code and you just put your phone up to that QRS code. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Loretta, go ahead and grab that phone for me. Okay, if you guys grab this phone, it's going to 100% take you to our website. That website is going to allow you 100% to go directly and register on a website, and it's going to let you register. Inside of here, those little kits that are so hard to find, I'm going to send you out 100 swabs. I'm going to send you out 100. I know, Loretta, you're smiling. I always love when I have a great idea and somebody just going like, Lord, have mercy. I should have thought of this, right? We're going to send you out 100 tests. And then if you need 500, I just ordered 200,000 because I got to support us. We say that we are a lab for us, by us, and saving us. And Roy, you and I have not met, but you are in Tarrant County, and I just figured that out there. So this kit right here, we put together 200,000 because see, I can't come out to you guys anymore. I cannot come out. And then what we do is we send you a FedEx label. You put it on this box, you send it back to me. And in 24 to 48 hours, I can process how many samples here? 50,000. I can't save everybody in the world, but I can save some minorities in this season. Now, this goes out. So what does this do for your areas? For every business that's shutting down, for every school system that doesn't have a solution, if I implore you tomorrow to call any school system that you have in your district, they will not have a solution, nor will they have a plan. And the plan is, if that kid comes in positive or that kid comes in with a test, they will test that kid. They would tell that kid to go home. Then the kid has to go home and infect the entire house. And then the school teacher is infected. All that you need. And so the Binax kits that they have, Mr. Jones, they're all expired. There's not a kit in this country that you can buy from Abbott. Now, I am a very strategic partner because I make Abbott a lot of money. So every test kit in the country that most of these schools have were sent last year. They were commandeered by the government. So the schools didn't have anybody to test. The school kids went home. So the kits only lasted, they are EAU, their emergency use authorization. They only lasted 6 months. You cannot use them on the kids. So what we decided, how do I reach us? How do I save us? And how do I make sure that those students and those small businesses stay connected and stay on the job? Here. Ingenious, right? So you send this kid out and we talk, we save lives. We save American lives. We save the brown lives. We save the kids, because you know what? We have so many businesses that call us every single day. I'd rather take my 200 kids, and we're ordering 50,000 a week. Because see, I'm not the collection side. I'm not the girl that sat on the side of the road with the tent with the people that were sending back to the lab. I am the lab. So with that being said, we have a lot of technology, right? Because I have a lot of strategic partners. Now, Derek likes this kid. He's just salivating. When he saw this, he's just salivating. This kid here is a Quidel kit. For the homeless population that we have that we can only touch once, I do all of our Salvation Armies here, Mr. Brook. Every single one of them, MCI do. We do all the city testing. This is a quick test. If I can't find, let me just hold it up for you, Loretta. Loretta got a camera out. She taking pictures on the Zoom. Okay, listen. So this test right here is a quick in-home, it's an antigen test. It'll tell us really quick where we're at. For the people that we can't find, for the jails, the prisons, for your employees. Now, this test, Derek, don't salivate, this is new. This test is a PCR test. We have all kind of technology that they're not telling us about. So this test right here saves everyone in your district. All of these tests, but the one that is at the school system is this. This is the Binex. Okay, this thing right here was, I could probably get 50,000 from Maryland. Who was on from Maryland? I have a lab in Maryland. Helen, I got a lab in Maryland. I just opened because I did a lot of tests up there. We do a lot with Kevin's mom. So this particular test right here, every school system that have these, Mr. Jones, Mr. Brooks, Ben, they're all expired. If you call your school tomorrow, they're going to all have these. They were all sent out by the government last year. Now we have no solutions for our kids. And so you know who the kids that are not getting tested? They're your kids. They're your grandkids. So we are here to come up with a solution. You know, I'm sort of a hidden deal. Now, the government know I exist. I'm not as big as LabCorp and Quest, but there's only three laboratories in the entire country that's in all 50 states. LabCorp, Quest, and MCI. So I don't have an issue with doing that. My job in this season, because I've seen so much on COVID, that I moved from Oklahoma. I was born and raised in Oklahoma. I went to school in Texas. I saw so much racism. And this disease does not have a color. It does attack everyone. But the people that don't survive is us. And I do a lot of shows. I talk a lot about COVID. But I can tell you that the best thing that I could have done in this season was to save all of our businesses. We can't lose any more businesses. The government is feeding us, closing us, and housing us. And we have gone back to our housing is now 1960. We have less home ownership today than we did in 1960. So, but the other big thing for the school systems is this. If we don't help those kids, I have never seen a situation, and I'm at all the schools. Like, I don't always look, I think I look this good all the time, but I will suit up quick because I'm that girl. Like, if you ask me to clean, I got like 20,000 square foot here, but you ask me to clean it and I'm coming with you. But a lot of times I suit up because I'm just that nosy. I want to know who we're testing. But see, in the school system, guys, if I say nothing else, and for the two things that I want to give, that I'm so passionate about, one, all of those kids that were staying at home, there's no food. The parents don't work. It's an angry house. The kids are being abused. They're being physically and sexually abused. Everybody that's staying at home. So we cannot shut this country down. But also, we cannot afford to continue to lose Black businesses.